Lots of questions are continuing to roll in about this embroidery machine, so I want to try to answer more of them. Welcome to the Sewing Report. I'm Jen. This channel is all about sewing crafts and DIY projects, and I've been getting a lot of comments on all of the Brother PE800 embroidery machine videos, and I wanted to go over some of the ones that I keep getting asked over and over again, and yet another Q&A about this Brother PE800 embroidery machine. Also, I would ask if you don't see a question answered in this edition, I may have answered it in another video already, so please check the Brother PE800 playlist here on YouTube on the channel, and it might have been answered elsewhere. So let's get started. I get this asked all the time is, can this machine be used for regular sewing? The answer is no. This is an embroidery only machine, so it can't do like the regular sewing functions where you put the needle up and down, you've got feet on it, and you can feed fabric through. That is not what this machine is for. There are some sewing/embroidery combo machines where you can sew on it like a regular sewing machine, and then this module actually comes off. In the combo machine, a regular unit is on it, then you take that off, you put the embroidery module on it, and then you can embroider. This unit holding the hoop is where all the embroidery magic happens, and you do need that to be able to embroider. But I think because this can sort of look like a sewing machine, I think people may be a little bit confused. I also get asked a lot, can you use a serger to do regular sewing? The answer to that is also no. This machine can stitch out designs that are computerized. When you purchase an embroidery machine, here's how it works with the designs. You can use the pre-programmed designs with the model that you purchase. This one has, I believe, like 138 built-in ones. It's also got several different English fonts. You can also buy designs. There are a lot of people on Etsy and on various embroidery websites that sell designs that you can import to the machine via a USB drive like this one. This is one from when I worked at CNN. I don't know, I've been using this one. This is my embroidery flash drive for some reason. So you can purchase designs. It has to be on your computer. Like, I don't think you can use an iPad or anything, or I don't think your phone. It has to be like a laptop or a PC. You can download designs on your computer, put them onto the flash drive, and then you put the flash drive into the embroidery machine. So that is another way to do it. I've also gotten quite a few questions about doing your own designs. Like, how do you make them? That is with separate software you have to buy elsewhere. So you cannot make your own embroidery designs with the machine itself. It does have quite a few functions if you want to like try to merge designs or like merge like a picture and some lettering. You can do that in the touchscreen menu. So that's one of the reasons I bought the PE800, because it has more advanced editing capabilities within the machine, but you can't actually make a design from scratch. So that's not something you can really do. You have to have software. I don't have the type of software that you need to make your own designs. I have the free version of Embrilliance Express. I'm cheap, guys. I'm very cheap. I do have another video on using the Embrilliance Express free version. Keep in mind, it is super basic. It doesn't do much. The only thing you can really do with it, and this is why I got it, was that you can take embroidery fonts with the BX file format. And I explained that in that video, so check it out if you haven't seen it yet. All you can do is take that font, make sayings with it, and export that to your USB drive to put it on the machine. But you can't merge, in the free version at least, you can't merge like text and another design. The only thing you can do is it has to be a design that's already in the software, and it has like a very limited amount, but there's not a lot you can do with it. There are paid versions. If you want to like create your own designs, or like say you want to take a picture and you want to make that into an embroidery design, that's another question I get is, can you just like upload picture files to the machine? No, like a big fat no. The designs that you use for the embroidery machine are totally different than image files, like a JPEG or like a PNG. You cannot import those into the machines and they won't stitch out. The designs have to be digitized specifically with embroidery software. So the embroidery software does tend to be pretty pricey. There are versions like I think the will come, or you can get more advanced versions of Embrilliance. They're several $100s to in the thousands, but a lot of people who own this software have embroidery businesses or they design embroidery designs for a living. So that's why I don't have the software, is because I don't design, I don't make my own designs, and I don't really have that much of an interest personally in digitizing. If you do, that's something you can look into, but I can't personally speak to that software, that type of software, because I don't have it, I don't use it, I'm not gonna get it, I'm not gonna try it. Whenever I have needed like a logo or a picture digitized for embroidery, I actually paid somebody on Etsy to do it. They're pretty reasonably priced, usually between like $10 and $20. Just when you're on Etsy, search for digitizing embroidery designs, and you can normally find somebody. The person I hired to do it the first couple times I did it, unfortunately, I don't think they're really doing it currently, so I can't recommend that specific individual, but they're certainly out there. And I had messaged back and forth with this guy, and I said, you know, hey, I'm willing to pay somebody for it because it's less hassle for me and I get it quickly. And he's like, yeah, he's like, there's actually a pretty steep learning curve with the software too. So he's like, it's not like you could just get the software and just immediately go. It would take a while to learn it and also to get better at it. He said it's, you know, it's like anything, it's kind of an art form and it takes a certain level of skill. You also can't do embroidery designs in like the Adobe suite. So you can't use like Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop and make embroidery designs. It really does have to specifically be embroidery software. And again, that's not really a topic that's in my wheelhouse. So I don't really feel comfortable, you know, really recommending anything or telling you what to do in that arena, because I'm a pretty simple gal here and I'm just doing pretty simple projects, doing like monogram towels and stuff I got on Etsy. Another thing I've been asked is about, like I did an applique. I had the Sewing Report logo turned into an applique design. And someone's like, how did you get it to like do the placement stitch and do like the, you know, tacking stitch or whatever? Yeah, like there was like a placement stitch so you know where your fabric goes. Then it does another stitch to put the fabric in place, then you cut around it. That was all built into the design itself. The person I paid to do it, they designed the placement stitch. They designed that like basting stitch for the fabric. And it was nothing to do with the machine. It was everything to do with the design. So if the design you choose does not have the element you want, you can't add it in or anything like that. I know you're probably like, what is she talking about? But I'm trying to explain this the best I can. Full disclaimer, I'm not a sewing machine tech or a brother expert by any means. I'm just someone who owns and uses the machine. And I wanted to try to share some helpful advice just from my own personal experience. I have gotten some people trying to message me personally to ask about like machine issues, and I'm not the girl for that. So please don't message me like pictures of your machine if you're having an issue. You really need to go to brother technical support. Again, I'm not like a licensed machine tech, and I also feel uncomfortable with giving you personalized one-on-one tech help because I'm really not certified for that. But I've been getting a lot of those types of questions, not just about this machine, but on other sewing machines. And I gotta say, a lot of this is really out of my pay grade. So I do want to be upfront about that and let you know that, again, it's not possible for me to help everyone one-on-one. I can answer some general questions like this, like, can you make your own designs? But as far as you saying like, I'm experiencing this problem at this tension setting, can you help me? Unfortunately, I'm probably not the best fit for that. Definitely try to reach out to Brother. They do have customer support. I haven't had a lot of experience with it on my end, so I can't really speak to how good it is, but I do know that I like my machine. I use my machine quite often. And going back to the question about can an embroidery machine sew, definitely not. And I think there's some confusion over just the functions of the machine and how you use it. Like you cannot use the embroidery machine to like try to do thread painting or like free motion quilting or free motion embroidery. If that movement is not in the design itself, again, it can't do that particular motion or function. So everything is in that computerized design. The file format for the Brother embroidery machines is .pes. Every brand has their own file format, and typically when you buy a design, it comes with formats for all of the makes, and then you just use the one that is specific to your machine. So again, Brother, PES files, you know those are the Brother the Wright brother ones, and they will work on this machine. If you're here and you don't know much about sewing or embroidery, but you just want to get a sewing machine, do not buy this machine. It will not do regular sewing. This is just for embroidery. And I'll also talk about why I don't personally like the embroidery sewing combos. I'm more of a unitasker. I like the machine to do one function because, again, I'm a lazy millennial and I don't like to change out components. In fact, on my brother's serger, I have it on like one particular scenario setting, just your basic like 4-thread overlock stitch, and I rarely change it out. The only time I've changed it out is when I did a video demonstrating different types of serger stitches. And other than that, I just keep it on that one thing and I use it for that one thing only. Same thing with the embroidery machines and sewing machines. If I want to sew, I want to use the sewing machine. If I want to embroider, I'm just going to use this machine. But I'm less likely to use a machine if I have to like switch a bunch of stuff out and it takes too much time to remove the one module, put in another one. I just think it's too much work. I want something that's easy. So that's why I personally like to have an embroidery only machine. Also, my husband and I were talking about this when we first got it, and when you stitch out embroidery designs, it does look like it's kind of hard on the machine, like it's going kind of fast, and it's stitching like there's a lot of stitches in each design. So I feel like it does have a more wear and tear on it overall, and I wanted my regular sewing machine to not have as much wear and tear, but have the wear and tear be all on one. So I don't know if that's like reality or a fact, but that was sort of one of my trains of thought when I was looking into machines. Now, obviously on Amazon, these have been kind of hard to come by. The price has been all over the place more recently, and as I'm shooting this, we are still in the middle of unprecedented times. I'm just gonna leave it at that, but this is hard to find. Prices are fluctuating wildly, which is kind of crazy to me, but there are still places you can get this machine, I believe. I'm personally a fan. I've had this for the last year and a half. I've used it a lot more than I thought I would. I enjoy it, but I do get a lot of questions on it, so I wanted to try to address some of them. Now, I can't get to all questions and I might not know the answer. Obviously, I'm not all-knowing. I'm not a genius. I'm not a Mensa member. But if you have any additional questions, first I would ask that you look through the Brother PE800 playlist. I'm going to link it here, and I'm also going to link it below in the description box. So be sure to check out some of the other videos because I've tried to answer a lot of questions along the way and be as helpful as I can. And I get a lot of repeat questions that I've answered already. So be sure to check some of the older videos out. And if there's continues to be demand for this type of video, I may do another one. But if you have a question that you don't believe has been answered before, leave it below in the comments and I will do my best. But it is a little bit overwhelming, and I didn't realize how many people would be into machine embroidery. I think it's a lot of fun, and I think this machine is the right fit for me. I've been able to make a lot of fun things. So thank you guys for tuning into all of the episodes. I really appreciate it. And again, I have a lot of other videos on the Brother PE800, so check some of those out. I'm Jen with the Sewing Report. I'll see you guys again in the next video.